truly a tremendous honor to stand before you in this remarkable place, Carpenter's Hall. A building constructed by craftsmen for craftsmen. One that has stood for more than 2.5 centuries. And a building where, as we have already heard, in 1774, our founding fathers, many of them Freemasons, gathered for the First Continental Congress to confront a question that had never truly been answered before. How can free people govern themselves? Now, history tends to simplify these moments. We often imagine our founding fathers as a unified group of visionaries, all moving confidently in the same direction. But that wasn't reality. They came from different colonies, different economies, different religious traditions, different interests. Many disagreed with each other profoundly. Some wanted reconciliation with Britain, others believed confrontation was inevitable. Some trusted their fellow delegates, some did not. Yet they sat together. They listened, they debated, they reasoned, and ultimately they found common ground. As Masons, that story should sound familiar to us. For centuries, Freemasonry has sought to unite men who might otherwise remain divided. In fact, our ritual reminds us that Masonry brings together men of every country, sect, and opinion, not by asking them to abandon their differences, but by teaching them to look beyond those differences, to meet one another on the level, to treat one another with respect, and to search for common purpose. In many ways, what happened in this building reflects one of the most profound lessons of our fraternity. Peace and harmony do not require uniformity. Peace and harmony require shared principles. The delegates who met here did not agree on everything, just as the Masons in our lodges do not agree on everything, nor should they. But they recognized that some things mattered more than disagreements. Liberty, justice, human dignity, the pursuit of a better future. These are not merely political ideas, they are moral ideals, and they are deeply consistent with the teachings of Freemasonry. It is fitting that we gather here in front of Carpenter's Hall because America and Freemasonry are rich in the language of builders. The operative craftsmen who built structures like this one understood that every great building depends upon its foundation. A weak foundation eventually causes even the grandest structure to fail. The founders of our nation understood this same truth. The question before them was not simply how to build a government. The question was ultimately how to build a nation that could endure. How to create a society where liberty survives beyond a single generation. How to preserve freedom once it has been won. Their answer was not found in stone or timber. It was found in character, because liberty without virtue is fragile. Freedom without responsibility is unstable. And self-government requires self-discipline. Before a people can govern a nation, they must first govern themselves. As Masons, we understand that lesson well. Our fraternity has always taught that the most important building project is not a temple, a hall, or even a nation. It is the construction of character. We take the rough ashlar and strive to make it better. We seek to improve ourselves, to act with integrity, to practice justice, to extend friendship, to serve others. And these are not merely private virtues. They are the very qualities that make free societies possible. Perhaps that is the enduring connection between Freemasonry and the events that unfolded here. The men who gathered in this hall were attempting something unprecedented. They were ultimately trying to prove that people could govern themselves, that free citizens could build something stronger than force could, that reason could triumph over division, that principle could triumph over self-interest. And 250 years later, that work remains unfinished. Every generation inherits the structure. Every generation becomes its caretaker. And every generation must decide whether it will strengthen the foundation or weaken it. So as we celebrate this anniversary, let us remember that freedom is not a monument. It's not a document. It's not even the destination. Freedom is a structure that must continually be maintained. And like every structure, it depends upon the character of those entrusted with its care. May we as Masons continue to be builders, builders of friendship, builders of understanding, builders of harmony, and builders of a future worthy of the principles that first brought men together in this hall 250 years ago. Actually, 252 years ago. Thank you, and may God continue to bless our beloved fraternity and this great nation.